this is Valerie Aiello, and you're listening to Idea Diary. Thanks for coming back to my office and hanging out. Lately, I've been doing a lot of busy work, working on JPEGs and website stuff, and just stuff that is... It's always fun right in the beginning when you're doing it, but then it becomes to be repetitive, and you're doing the same thing over and over again, and then it starts to be not fun. I've been kind of working slow, but I am about to have the end of the month push through. So usually the last 3 or 4 days at the end of the month, I always jam pack as much as I can get done because I always feel like I want to come into the new month with a lot of stuff behind me. So I definitely did not get as much done as I wanted to get done in January. I still got a lot of great things done, and things are definitely moving forward. It's not in a freight train barreling down speed that I would like, but something is getting done every day, and I'm definitely seeing big accomplishments being put behind me that are making me feel really good and like I'm really getting somewhere. It sort of feels like when you're driving around and you just hit green light after green light after green light. That's the kind of energy that I'm feeling right now, which I would normally have the feeling of stopping at every single light and just things going at a molasses speed, and things feel different, things feel good. Whatever the momentum that has been happening for me in 2021, definitely between 2012 to 2019, just felt like everything that I was doing was just not working out as planned. Maybe some things would happen, but not everything. And I just felt like I've been in a holding pattern. However, definitely in January 1st in 2020, I had this thing that was just going on where it was just like I was getting things done, and things were happening. I still feel that, and I'm going to be pushing through. So a couple of shows ago, I had a show about something that it was just really hard for me to spit out for some reason, and I still don't quite know how to organize it in my mind of how to simply say it. I feel like it's a really simple idea, which could be maybe just like a strategy of sorts, to where if you want to have a business of just totally being you and being unique, and that could mean a million things, but to kind of use that 1,000 customer, 1,000 super fans, maybe it doesn't have to be super fans. Maybe it's just finding your first 1,000 customers for each product. But the concept of trying to make 12 products to sell in a year that maybe only you could make, or maybe something that's just totally unique to you. Maybe it's not totally original. Maybe it's a show, or it's a workshop, or it's a book, or the million possibilities that it could be. But just to have the theory of having 12 things to sell and figuring out 1,000 people to buy them, and possibly figuring out that each sale is $5, and trying to make $60,000 a year, just being totally unique in you, just as an experiment. I feel like there's something there that if somebody were to test it out and to see if it works for them, I feel like that is what I'm kind of doing. And maybe it's not 12. I've a million different weird things happening, but I am trying to definitely at a minimum get that 12 unique products going. I'm hoping to have them all done in the beginning of the year, this year. But if it ends up being that maybe 2021 is just developing and building those products, and really 2022, is that the next year? 2021, yes, 2022 is the next year. Maybe if 2021 is just the development year, then 2022 could be just focusing on sales and everything's up and running and ready to go, have the websites looking good, and having everything available to purchase with the right distribution and all the things. I just feel like I found a plan that's probably or possibly repeatable and doable for, I don't know, a lot of different types of people. And if it works for me, it definitely could work for anybody. The other thing that is part of my plan and things that I'm doing now is spending that hour to 2 hours to 3 hours to 5 hours every day on showing up and personal branding and trying to connect with people. Even though it's not the greatest, or I'm not the greatest at it yet, doing it every day, even however small incrementally that it could be getting better, I do feel like I'm getting better every single day. Some shows, I definitely feel like it's painful. It's got to be painful to listen to. And people are probably just clicking off. So I'm trying not to get down about it or feel insecure about it, and just hope that the next show, the next day, actually makes sense and is valuable to somebody. I feel like I try to make every day make sense. Or at least I feel like I try to make every day just something valuable. It might be too weird, and I'm kind of okay with being weird. I think being weird is actually a fantastic quality. So I never say weird in a negative light. Just weirdness in general, I feel like is magical. I do feel like I'm building a system that if I'm successful, it's definitely repeatable, and it definitely has the ability for anybody to sculpt it and shape it to whatever thing works for any individual. Things might change here or there, and maybe there's little tweaks and things for people's specific skills and things they could sell. I feel like there's definitely a formula that I'm creating that could be good for anybody. We'll see what happens. Just an update on selling my house. I have purchased the Rust-Oleum red glitter spray paint, and I'm going to be painting my doors bright glitter red, my front doors of the house that I'm trying to sell. And I'm hoping that'll bring a little feng shui, a little something different. I'm trying to think of weird different ways that I can feel happy and feel joy with the situation of kind of waiting for the perfect buyer to come buy our house, because the selling of a property aspect of wanting something is just so difficult, because it's got to be a win-win-win. It can't be on my timeline. If I'm desperate and wanting things to change and I have these expectations in my head, I could be totally sabotaging myself. So I've just got to go with the flow, let go. And the way that I'm deciding to do that is to do little upgrades here and there that make me happy. That's maybe not financially a big deal, but just fun and kind of keeping me excited to be living in a house that I guess I kind of want to sell and to not be living here, but to still find happiness and joy and being grateful that I have what I have, and I don't know where I'm going to end up. And that's also the other thing when it comes to selling a house. When you finally make that sale and then you have this money where you can buy something else, the perfect thing needs to be available when you're ready to buy it. So there's all these different people's fates waiting in the wings of the person that buys my house. They need to be in a perfect situation and to have fun with their new purchase. There's also the person selling their house that I might be buying. And there's also the fate of that person and the timing when they need to be gone from their house. And then there's me. So there's 3 different fates that are happening. Not to mention potentially your neighbors and who you live next to and how everything's going to unfold. I'm letting go, and I'm trying to be happy so that I know when I'm sitting inside my next property and thinking, how did I end up here? Or how wonderful it is that everything happened. And I didn't push the timelines, and I didn't get upset, and I didn't try to force anything. And then I'm now sitting here. I'm just thinking about that moment and how it's going to feel, and hopefully it feels good. Hopefully it's not like depressing and I end up feeling like all of that for this sucks. I don't know what's going to happen, but whatever it is, I'm pretty sure, just from always kind of being a lucky person, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up somewhere good. I just don't know what's going to happen. And in the meantime, try to make it as fun as possible without spending too much money and renovations, but just figuring out how to be more grateful every day and just be in the moment, I guess. So I think that's the show. I just kind of wanted to lock into my mind my little system of selling 12 products a year with a $5 profit per product, at least, with selling it to 500 to 1,000 customers over the course of a year, trying to make a profit of between $30,000 and $60,000 of just making stuff totally unique to your personality and whatever you could create. Locking in that system, with a personal branding, 1 to 5 hours of daily work. And then I wanted to talk about staying positive, about my house not selling, and trying to do happy things to make me excited and just a little bit more grateful with going with the flow. There's one more thing. Oh, I wanted to update on the search for the trademark lawyer of the trademark that I don't really want to apply for, but I'm going to go ahead forward with it. A lot of things that people use lawyers to file things for business and certain things, are really not that difficult. There are a lot of things that you could just file yourself and then use that lawyer money for something more difficult. I see online that a lot of people just file their own trademarks, but a lot of mistakes can happen. Instead of watching a bunch of videos, trying to file your own trademark and learning the step, I think I'm just going to go with hiring a lawyer at this point, because what I've noticed is there are a lot of flat rate file your trademark type of lawyers out there. I think I'm just going to interview a few and pick out the best one for me, go with that. Because I think with the creation of LegalZoom, I've never used LegalZoom, but from the reviews and the things that were happening and just the fact that they have a flat rate for filing a trademark, I definitely looked at it to see what they had to offer. But with some of the reviews for LegalZoom, I just kind of noticed a lot of people saying that it's kind of better just to have a one-on-one real relationship with a real attorney over LegalZoom. And I think with LegalZoom offering that flat rate price, it kind of shifted, and maybe this was always around, but it seems like a lot of lawyers are having independent businesses doing flat rate services that people do kind of need a little hand holding with. I'm not sure how new that trend is, but I definitely see the value in doing something simple, but something that's just a little bit next level. And yeah, so in general, I'm looking for a flat rate lawyer and going through that process. So hopefully I'll have something to report. Anyways, I guess that's the show for today. I still don't know how to end the show, so I'm just going to play the music.